All right. I've got more caffeine in my system, so I am more awake.
Good,
Well,
you're gonna need that when we go to space.
oh yeah, and all that caffeine will help me breathe. Yeah, so Invasion of Astro Monster, not the Astro Monster,
Just an Astro Monster.
or as it's known in Japanese, Kaiju Daisenso, which sounds better than Invasion of Astro Monster. And also,
Isn't that just giant monster senso? Like the monster's name is. I don't know.
well,
I don't know.
I would need to.
I don't know what
I will
senso
look up what
means.
Daisenso means because it might mean something different with Dai in it.
I hope it's just big monster from space.
Oh lord, I forgot. I'm looking at fucking Bemelar. God, Bemelar's such a dork.
That's very rude of you to say that to that man.
Daisenso meaning. A great war. So this is
Giant monster, great war.
great giant monster war, pretty much. Which okay.
I mean, I guess there's probably a war that happens.
Oh, interesting. Sandai Kaiju Chikyu Saidai no Kessen. Nothing in here says Ghidorah.
Well, yeah, they wrote Ghidorah in kanji.
Also, when I looked up Daisenso, I got the Battle Cats.
I don't know what the battle cats are, but I want them to stay away.
The Battle Cats debuted on the Japanese iOS App Store in November 2011. Not under the name Nyanko Daisenso.
That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. It has nothing to do with Ghidorah in space.
Yeah. Great.
Oh wait, we don't know about that yet. I'm sorry. That has nothing to do with Astro Monster in space. Although he looks incredibly smug in that artwork.
Who? Yes. Also,
All of them look smug.
and much smoother than they actually look. Which, hold on, Daisenso Goji. Oh, it's the Godzilla suit design. I was hoping for. Yeah, great. Daisenso means Great War. So it's the Great Monster War.
Funny that this isn't All Monsters Attack or whatever. The last one.
We can freaking go to that one. Hell, Destroy All Monsters is already coming up.
Yeah, that's like 4 weeks away.
Yeah, so Kaiju Soshingeki. And then All Monsters Attack. Oh god.
Yeah, I'm seeing the very large manila there, and I'm not liking it.
Oh, it's not a good time. Gojira Minera Gabara Oru Kaijo Daishingeki.
Oh god, Gabara's in that movie. Oh, I don't want to see Gabara.
I'm assuming that's Gabara.
I hate Gabara.
Alright, and then oh no, we got Gojira Tayadora. Oh yeah, Godzilla vs. Gigan.
Finally, something good.
That's a Velociraptor. Look at that shit.
No, that's Godzilla.
That's a freaking Velociraptor.
It's really telling that we have nothing to say about Astro Monster.
Well, because we have to figure out where the end is.
I think it's
the Terror of Mechagodzilla. Yeah.
I thought Destroy All Monsters was like near the end, but apparently that's in the middle.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're prepared for the stupid sequel, which I already know about. I know a little bit about. To whatever.
Will this one get the same score as the last one? Probably not.
Depends on what we think of the frickin' jumping, dancing crap.
I'm not gonna look at it favorably, if we're being honest.
It'll depend on the context. But, alright, I think that's enough preamble. We'll see you guys when we're done.
Alrighty.
All right.
Ghidorah continues to live.
Can't kill him. It's the third freaking movie where the end of it is the enemy tumbling into the ocean.
That was a perfect dive, though.
No, it wasn't. That was a belly flop.
Perfect dive. 10 out of 10.
Rigid as stone belly flop. I didn't even see Godzilla.
No, he wasn't there.
No. Even though Godzilla was the one who tackled him.
Tackle is a strong word when it's
he was
used as a projectile.
Yeah, pretty much. All right. Holy fucking shit. So we have to preface this. We had an incredible time because we discovered the joy of the differences between. First off, this one actually had a dub. It was fine. But we also turned on the subtitles because I was worried we were talking over the dialogue. Turns out they don't match.
I think we got the we obviously got the subtitles to the Japanese one.
Yeah.
And then the English dub is more or less a different movie.
But the astronaut speaks his lines. Most of them. There were a few at the beginning that were just lost to time. But his subtitles don't match, despite the fact that he's literally speaking.
Well, you know.
It's so fucking weird. It's like they looked at the script, and that's where they got the subtitles from. They translated the Japanese script.
That'd be my guess. They probably didn't use closed captioning.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay. I want to give this movie a compliment. Its characters were jumping ahead on plot points that I technically already knew, but in the context of the movie, the characters were figuring things out before it was handed to us.
Yeah.
Like, the two main astronaut characters were actually very intelligent characters.
And they kind of had to be since, Godzilla took a back seat in this movie.
He really didn't do a lot. So the human element was actually kind of on point. I like the American guy. I think he was a decent character.
Yeah.
Like, just not in a funny sense like Eggman, but just solid. Like, he was just he was his character. It worked. The Zillions look terrible. And I can get over the condom helmets and the skin tight suits, but the Jester shoes just kill it. They just kill it for me, and I can't deal with it.
Look, the shoes were optimized.
Optimized for what? That is a tripping hazard.
They were optimized for luring in people to be falsely suspecting of them.
Oh my lord.
Or I guess accurately suspecting of them.
Yeah. And they're all wearing the frickin' Geordie
visor.
Yeah. Which actually had a line in it so they could see. I was wondering about that for a while because it looked like they couldn't see through it, but they finally were starting to show it later into the movie. So I still don't completely understand the universe in this movie. Like, I thought one of the restaurants was in space, but it was never explained.
It was a space-themed restaurant because there were astronauts there. And astronauts, if they love anything, it's space.
Yeah.
It's atmosphere.
Yeah.
Even though it looked like bed sheets.
Yeah, I mean, it was very clearly just bed sheets. Okay, so we've returned to the putting dolls on screen for longer periods of time. But I mean, I'll admit, when they were doing the whole elevator shit part, like, they did move.
A little bit.
It was very awkward, but they did move. Yeah, so they made new suits for this movie for everyone, I believe. Ghidorah put on weight.
Yeah, Ghidorah got thick.
Oh, he had an ass. It was very weird, and it made me uncomfortable. I think it's the two tails, but Lord, it looked like a giant ass. It was, when he fell over, it just wasn't okay to look at. We got to see the resting positions for Godzilla and Rodan.
Yeah, about that.
Godzilla loves his tail. He loves it with every fiber of his being and must hug it close to him when he is asleep. It is basically his stuffed animal. And Rodan just looks like crap.
Rodan just tucks his wings in. He
just like a bat. Even though he was definitely, when he was bursting out last time, it looked, I don't know what it looked like. It looked like he was actually like curled up in a ball, but whatever. I still don't completely understand if like Ghidorah is native to Planet X. I don't think it is.
No, I think Ghidorah is just native to space, and the Zillions just lucked out and got one.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter?
Not really.
I mean, I guess maybe they used Ghidorah to take the water from Venus. Who knows? That's how it ties back into that other one.
5,000 years ago? I don't know about that.
I mean, it's possible.
It's possible.
It's stupid, but it's possible.
Yeah. Let's see.
So you want to just kind of like run down the plot at this point?
Yeah.
'Cause there was a plot in this one.
There was a singular linear plot. Well, minus the inventor dude who makes a really loud buzzer that he tries to sell to a toy company that's actually the aliens.
Yeah, for 50,000 or 100 million.
50 million yen, $100,000.
Yeah, one of the two, depending on which universe you live in.
Yes, either the subtitle Japanese universe or the in-universe English one. Yeah, so after the meeting with Planet... Or no, was it before they met Planet? The Zillions that we met them? I can't remember.
They just found a planet and they were like, we're going there.
Yeah.
Reasons. It's behind Jupiter.
Yeah, it's just hiding behind Jupiter for some fucking reason.
And then, so they send the two astronauts from the Space Authority or Agency, depending on which universe you live in.
Yes. And the Zillions are like, we can't defeat Ghidorah, please.
We would like to borrow your Godzilla.
We would like to borrow your monsters. Not Mothra, we don't need that. But Godzilla and Rodan, yes. Those two high class.
Look, Rodan was still part of the big three at this time.
I guess so. And no one remembers Anguirus.
Anguirus is dead.
I don't know. I don't think Raids Again is canonical.
No, he's dead. He's totally dead.
Anyway. Yeah, so after that, the astronauts are almost immediately suspicious.
Yeah.
As the Zillions show up and are like, we were underneath your lake.
Well, so the deal was they get the monsters and Earthlings get either the cure to cancer or the miracle drug. Again, depending on your universe.
Yes. There were two versions of the movie basically playing at the same time, and we were having a really good time, especially when the subtitles would give us a line of dialogue and literally nothing would happen. Yeah, so
yeah, they go back to Earth and they're like, yeah, Godzilla's hiding in a lake and Rodan is again in a mountain.
Yes.
Somehow.
As he is wont to do. They extract them after they meet with these guys and be like, why are you sneaking around in our lakes? And it's like, Don't worry about that.
Look, we couldn't wait for your government. Your government's slow.
Yeah, totally.
It would have been like 20 years before you said we could borrow them.
Yeah, so we needed to borrow your monsters. Watch as we thoroughly explain how we take big things into space and how we marvel at how fast we go. And it's just like, okay, whatever.
So yeah, then they take Godzilla and Rodan to space. They fight Ghidorah for like half a second.
Yeah.
Godzilla does his victory dance.
Yes, not before cover shooter happens, and we got to witness the beams. There's no more steam. We are done with the steam breath. We have officially graduated to After Effects, like edited in visual effect for the atomic breath, which looked good for the time, and the lightning was the same way. Although the lightning seemed like an after effect in the last movie anyway, but they still had the steam breath for some fucking reason.
Oh, you know.
But yeah, so they do that, and then they're like, "Here's your cure for cancer on this piece of gold painted styrofoam."
Yeah, that we were both looking at. We thought it was like a brick.
Yeah, oh, and the two astronauts, because they were suspicious, they snuck around and found out they had a shit ton of gold, which I don't know why it was relevant.
Because they had made the line that gold is less valuable than water.
Yeah.
So they were saying, hey, look at all our gold.
Yeah.
Pretty neat, huh?
Well,
wish we had water.
Yeah, it was really fucking
We're
weird.
We're dehydrated over here.
Really, really weird. Yeah, so... And also they explain that their stuff is controlled with mind stuff. And I don't know where it got stated that they actually are controlled by a computer, but that kind of got thrown in there as well.
Yeah, that was a little murky.
So, in the midst of this, Inventor Nerd stalks American guy's girlfriend and gets sent to the Rancor pit.
Yeah. Rings the doorbell, trap door.
Yep.
I hate it when that happens.
Good shit. And then they actually send the astronauts back in a replica ship, which was just the exact same fucking ship.
No, it was superior in every way.
Totally.
I mean, it got them back faster.
Did it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
All this happened before we went to space. Or before we landed on the moon.
Yes. I mean, we'd been in space for a bit. But, yeah.
Able to get to Jupiter in, like, hours, essentially?
Well, the Zillions were able to.
I don't know.
It took the astronauts probably weeks.
I doubt it. I highly doubt
or, hell, it might have taken... It should have taken years, because that's how long it takes for most of our ships to make it out that far.
Yeah, and then they got back in, like, hours.
Yeah, no, whatever. That's
much better the second ship was.
The fucking timeline is dumb.
So basically, they play the cure to cancer or miracle drug on the recorder software, and it actually turns out to be a threat.
Yes.
Like, hey, we have your monsters now.
Fucking, you're a colony, or we kill you all. And then we watch.
The Earthlings don't like that.
No, it caused mass panic, and we get to see that in the extremely clean but extremely disheveled old base for the space agency, where our American friend finds his lady friend, who
was an alien the whole time. Bum, bum, bum.
Well, we already figured that out. We forgot to mention that when he was wandering around, met a bunch of clones. Yeah, so she's like, "Oh, I love you," and then but she wants to bring him back to Planet X, and he gets captured. She gets vaporized, and she leaves him the not quite the MacGuffin, but the necessary information to defeat the Zillions.
So coincidentally, the American space guy gets put in the same cell as Inventorman.
Mm-hmm.
And the dude's like, yeah, it's soundproof in here.
For whatever reason.
Even the bars.
Very awkward. During this time, the scientists or the space agency is trying to figure out how to free not Ghidorah. I mean, they do free Ghidorah for some fucking reason, but Rodan and Godzilla need to be freed, and they're like, well, they explain that it's done through electromagnetic waves, so we can build something that can maybe disrupt it, and they work on that.
They have 24 hours at this point,
more or less. And by the time they bring forward the idea, they're like, we're already in the later stages of developing it, which is like, okay. And then we watch as they essentially murder 2 people, considering how that radiation is supposed to work. But, we just gloss over that.
No, they were totally fine. They were wearing their radiation suits.
Underneath their actual suits.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, then we cut back to them in the prison, and they find the note that explains to them Zillions don't like loud noises. And they're like, hey, look, I made this stupid thing that makes loud noises.
The lady guard.
Yeah. I guess it protects you from ladies.
Yeah,
that is my
ladies hate that noise.
That's how I interpret it. And it works really well. As they find out.
Room.
It should not have escaped the bars. That makes no goddamn sense. But anyway, they escape. And they send out a boat with apparently not them, but the guards thing incapacitated on the boat. And they're like, they're escaping on the boat.
Blow it up.
Just gone. Fucking great. Good sequel to the ship explosion from the first movie. And then they're like, they were underwater, and they're like, time to swim.
Good thing that wasn't us.
Time to swim who knows how far to get back to civilization. I mean, it was clearly not that far if a small boat like that was taking the trip, so it probably wasn't that ridiculous. But regardless,
I don't know. It seemed pretty ridiculous, especially since, they show a shot with the binoculars, like them looking across the...
It's pretty far. But it could be done. Anyway, they get back to headquarters, and they're like, we have a weapon to beat the Zillions. And they're like, cool.
No, you don't.
Cool. You get on that in the
3 hours.
3 hours we have left. And then the Zillions start their attack with Godzilla and Rodan.
But not after their mandated smoke break.
Yes, no.
Their union mandated smoke break.
Yeah, they're just chilling. It's like, we'll get to it when we get to it. But yeah, and then they go on a rampage, and we watch some of the most competent destruction by Godzilla since 54. Just targeted, excellent destruction, no tripping, no falling, no stupid shit. Probably because he was being controlled by someone else. And then we watch as the first squad of weird weapon things gets blown up by the Zillions.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
Because they had anticipated that.
Not before more stock footage of tanks that we saw in Godzilla vs. King Kong. And we watch for extended periods of time as the military pelts Godzilla with tiny little fireworks.
That sometimes bounce off of him.
That just do nothing. And then they finally, they're like, is your sound weapon ready? Good. I'm going out to the front lines for some fucking reason. I guess they sent out certain people to just die?
Well, I
don't know why.
It was to hold the line.
Anyway, and then they're like, we're gonna hide in this tunnel until we're ready.
Everybody, turn your radios up to full volume.
Oh, God. That shouldn't have done anything.
So, yes, they played on I would assume the public radio station.
Yes.
And they're just like, hey, turn it up, please. Thank you.
Make it loud. Cause a noise disturbance. It'll make the Zillions mad. And it kind of does, but it really doesn't start working until they direct it at them, which made the radio thing kind of dumb.
Yeah.
And then they interact. They free. Well, basically, they put all three monsters into seizures.
Mm-hmm.
And they probably should have left them like that.
No, that'd be stupid. Godzilla hasn't gotten to fight anything yet.
And then the aliens just go, we're not winning it. Well, because they start blowing up the bungalow.
Yeah, they blow up the Earth base.
Yeah, there's just this little cottage on this island. And then the commander's like, to the future!
Yeah, and then
they all blow up.
All the ships pop.
All the fucking nightlights.
And then at that point, Godzilla, Rodan, and Ghidorah are free from mind control. And they're like, hey, you know what? We haven't fought yet. Let's fight again.
Well, Godzilla is the first one to wake up, and then he wakes up Ghidorah, and then Rodan.
Throws a boulder at his dong.
It's like, oh, hey, it's Ghidorah. Fuck that guy. Just hits him with a rock, and then wakes up Rodan with his tail.
I don't think that was intentional.
I don't know if it was, but it was fucking dumb. And then we watch as Rodan and Godzilla kind of beat the crap out of Ghidorah.
Yeah, Godzilla's been brushing up on his boxing skills.
Oh yeah, I know. We saw the fancy footwork and throwing punches and like ducking out of the way of the heads, and I'm like, you look like a dork. Whatever. And
then to finally end it, Rodan throws Godzilla. Or rams Godzilla into Ghidorah.
And then we watch as a literal, like, rigid model of Ghidorah belly flops into the water, which causes to burst out laughing because this is so absurd. And then that same model comes out of the water.
No, I think it might have been a different one. It's like the heads were extended on that.
I don't fucking know.
But it was a very solid,
like rigid model, and then it's the suit, and it flies away because we can't kill Ghidorah.
Not yet.
It just can't be done. And that's how the movie ends, with the two heroes in a reversal of King Kong versus Godzilla. The two heroes their fates are unknown, while the villain goes away.
Yeah. Over the horizon.
And yeah, and then we end with, like, you're going to be the ambassadors to Planet X. And I'm like, why aren't you guys just going to, like, eradicate them? They seem like bad people.
No, they're just bad computers.
I mean, for all we know, everyone blew up when he decided to go to the future, which would make me laugh pretty hard. But, yeah, so to sum it up, all the human parts of this movie were competent.
Well, they had to be, since it was like 90% human.
And the monster parts were serviceable. And in some places were hilarious.
I feel like this one had a lesser budget than the last one.
It might have.
I'm gonna check that out. Boy. I wonder if like it'd be on Wikipedia. Because like it feels like it didn't have the budget that the last one did. 132 million yen. Let's see. And
I don't know. I feel like this one, there were a lot more. I commented that there were a lot more sets that I didn't recognize. I feel like this one might have actually had a bigger budget.
But we're gonna find out. If I can. What was the other one called? Just Ghidorah, the three-headed monster?
Yes. Because they made new suits, and there were a lot of different sets, props that didn't seem reused. Except for the guns that were just wrenches.
I would like to find the Wikipedia page. That would be nice. And not Godzilla Wiki.
Did I make the comment about her?
It certainly made less.
Well, yeah.
Ah, there it is. Alright, what are we looking at here? Oh, cool. That's nice. Doesn't tell me.
Oh, good. They probably didn't make it public.
Probably not. But Astro Monster made twice as much.
It was a better movie.
And if you say so.
Oh, that was easily a better movie.
Yeah, it didn't have Mothra in it.
That's fine.
That's what I'm saying. Mothra's a downgrade.
Yeah.
Despite being our top 2 movies.
Yeah. Although I get the feeling this one might take the cake.
Okay, so.
Hold on. I gotta freaking open this shit. Astro Monster. As stupid as that's not monster. That's Monter.
Yes, the Astro Monster. Here he comes.
Indeed. Monster Combat? I should have done this before we got here. I make this mistake every time. Not every time, but
I'll try to remind you next time.
Bonus. Crap. I don't think it's fair for us to give a bonus to something that we did unintentionally.
Yeah, the English.
The English versus the
sub.
versus the subs.
Well, it's gonna give points for dub, isn't it?
If we want to give it points.
Well, what I mean is, isn't that like a category?
It is a category that we can do. But all right, so Monster Combat.
I'm thinking it was weaker than the previous entries. It was again Godzilla throwing rocks.
No, you're not wrong.
I don't think he did anything else besides throw rocks in a few beams.
There were a few beams. Some of them seemed worthless. So I wouldn't. We've had. Raids Again was a 4. I don't think it was as bad as Raids Again.
No, it was definitely better than Raids Again.
But it wasn't up to snuff with... There just wasn't as much of it.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem. It was reserved for like the last 10 minutes.
And it was okay when I saw it. 5?
5, sure.
Alright. Visual effects. There was a marked improvement in visual effects.
It did look better.
But it still feels like 8 is pushing it. I don't know. Well, considering it's for the time, I think an 8 might be fair.
Are we going to talk about Rodan's kind of stoned-looking face?
Oh.
Does that count as a visual effect?
I jokingly want to put it in acting, but oh Lord.
Because Rodan was definitely off that smoke break at that point.
Yeah, no, he was the THC kicked in, I guess. I hope I said that right. I'm clearly not.
I think that's it.
I think it's been above the last 2.
Yeah. And then, the whole destruction scene, that looked pretty good, so...
Yeah, it was competent and well done.
The only, negative thing that I have is you could see the tracks that the cars were on.
Yeah, that wasn't great. Especially since the tanks clearly didn't need them.
I don't think it was quite as egregious as Mothra Larva on wheels, but...
Yeah. But the explosions were all, ace.
Yeah.
Anything that blew up well.
Yeah.
Unlike the shitty ship explosions we got in the last
the
movie.
ship didn't explode in the last one, it just got lit on fire.
Which was dumb. Even the one from 54 had a proper, explosion and then sunk. But yeah, I think an 8 is fair.
Yeah, 8's reasonable.
The plot, well...
it had one.
It had a plot. The last one that had a plot, Godzilla 54, was a 7. It's the highest we've ever given. I think it might have been up there.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's certainly better than the rest of the stuff we've seen, because...
I mean, 54 was, like, the most straightforward of, like... It was focused around Godzilla, and it did a really good job of that. And this one, despite having multiple plot threads, it felt cohesive.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't Raids again, where it's like, I don't know what's going on anymore.
Or hell, even Ghidorah was, like, hard to follow. I mean, we were following the same thing, but it felt so disconnected.
Yeah.
So, 7, same as 54.
7, yeah.
The acting, it was good, and then the American actor, like, took it up a notch.
Yeah.
His presence was always good for the scenes he was in. Unfortunately, the dub kind of hurt everyone else's performance, but yeah, what do we got for 4, 5, 6 is the highest we've ever given. Can we give it a 7?
I didn't think the dub hurt too many people, so I'm fine with a 7.
Okay. That brings us at 27 already.
Nice.
That's kind of incredible, actually. And then the dub, and then whatever bonus we want to add on to that. I don't think the dub did anything for the movie. Everything that was entertaining about the dub was because of the situation we put ourselves in.
Yeah.
So...
It seemed competent, except for the parts where a lot of, like, dialogue got cut out. Like,
yeah.
Lines were just erased.
There were characters moving their lips while nothing happened.
Yeah.
Or... Yeah. It was just...
So I don't know if that was just, like, they didn't, like... They probably just didn't dub it, like, correctly or something. I don't know. It was kind of weird in some parts.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't feel like it deserved... Like, it didn't feel like the dub itself elevated the experience at all.
Yeah.
So, same as it was in King Kong. Was it King Kong that had a dub?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do we want to give it a bonus for? Because there were... The explosions were excellent, but I feel like we rolled that into the visual effects.
Yeah.
Although... I don't know. We were making so many jokes about the ships exploding, and then what was even better was that I think everything we wanted to explode did eventually explode.
Yeah, they were pretty adamant about making everything explode.
It was such a good time. So there's that. There's our actor, who, I mean, if I wanted to lump him in with the acting, I probably would have bumped it up to an 8. Just because, like, I read in there that he really brings some charisma to the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked every scene he was in.
Yeah.
He's no Eggman, but that just had more to do with just, like, it was just such a part of his character. And, like, this, what is his name? Glenn?
Yeah, it was Glenn.
Yeah, Lieutenant Glenn just made that movie easier to connect with.
Yeah.
So, well, I wouldn't quite... He wasn't something we cheered for. I mean, we cheered for the ship explosions, but again, like, I think that's lumped into the visual effects.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if we're gonna give it bonus points for explosions, it's basically because everything we wanted to exploded. So like that.
I mean, I can't decide.
I mean, we kept making jokes because like there's a ship. there's a spaceship.
Even the human spaceship exploded. I was like, Yes!
Yeah, when it exploded, the UFO just like flies upward.
Oh god. I mean, it's such a hard choice, and I hate that I'm lingering on this for so long. I mean, do you have a preference, Glenn versus all the explosions?
I'm kind of here for the explosions. If
All
we're being
right,
real.
all right, that's fine.
Just because it satisfied my base desire to see things explode.
Yeah. Okay. So you want to put another point in acting just to cover Glenn?
Yeah.
All right.
That seems fair.
And then everything explodes. I'm gonna give that a 3-pointer.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, we gave the ship in the first one a 3-pointer.
yeah, I mean that was just because it was fucking hilarious. And Eggman, we actually cheered. Yeah, I think 3 points is fair. So that brings us to let's see, 5, 8, 13, 20, 28, 31
out of a possible 40.
Technically 60 if the dub ever gets any points. Oh no, we limited the bonus to 5, so it's out of a possible 50 with bonus. But that still makes it very clearly top.
Yeah. Can't believe all that. What was the last one? The Ghidorah movie. All they needed to do was cut Mothra and boom.
Yeah, no, just that's all they needed to do. Just get rid of the. I mean, it was funny to watch him get flung around, but you know. Okay, holy crap, this has gone on too long.
Yeah, so much Ghidorah Rodan footage I have to get.
Well, the problem is that it was worth reiterating the plot because we could follow it.
Yeah.
So, thank you for joining us on the best movie of the Showa era yet. And join us next time when we fight a giant lobster.
Hell yeah. See you later.
See ya.
Hey there, did you enjoy what you just watched? I don't know what you just watched, but did you enjoy it? Well, we have other series on this channel. We have
Pokemon.
We also have Getting a Platinum.
We've also done a whole bunch of Zelda stuff.
We also got a series going on called Remnant from the Ashes.
Maybe check out Cornzilla if you're interested in Godzilla.
And we have a bunch of archived videos for you to enjoy.